These two nutters are Christopher and Maya. After the pandemic hit New York City, they quarantined in a 250 square foot apartment, caught the damn virus, lost their jobs and their bleeding minds, healed up, ditched the apartment, and bought a 40-year-old American truck caravan monstrosity, and now they travel around the country trying to unearth stories of other humans who, once the world told them no, they said, fuck it, yes. If it were up to me, I'd leave them buried. That's me, I'm Jackson, and these are me humans. If you care to watch these Muppets try and hold the blasted thing together, subscribe below. I post these every Wednesday to try and maintain me marbles. And God help me.
Okay.
Well, bust me buttons. You actually came back to watch me wrangle a level of sanity, which is threatened on a daily basis by these two.
You're so much cuter than me.
You know, you're as mental as they are. Assuming you caught the last one, you're already aware of the 26-degree gorilla wedding outside the local Virginia mental asylum turned hotel. And now, the bastards have dragged me to meet some old bloke who gave up his whole career to become a farmer who lets people sleep on his property overnight. Apparently, there's an whole network of these social fanatics called Harvest Hosts. Chock-a-block with wineries and breweries they are. But where do me humans go? A mushroom farm in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. And no, not that kind of mushroom. Some honeymooners they are.
We found harvest hoes, can you see? First one's a mushroom farm that grows among trees. They've got a stew to baker, it's not new. We're gonna pick mushrooms and make some stew.
Did you retire from the car business?
Yeah, I did.
So you said I'm retiring?
I did right away. Yeah,
moving into a
November 2006, my dad got sick. I moved up here to take care of him and take care of the farm operations. And he passed away in 2010. So I became a farmer, moved up here. I told my girlfriend, I said, I just inherited a farm, you want to come see? And she fell in love with it. She was working at an electronics manufacturing plant in a big building with no windows and a little cubicle, you know. So she said, you saved me from my tomb. So she quit her job too and came up here with me.
We have some mushrooms.
Sure do.
Well, we thought it might be too cold.
And ends up, she's got the green thumb.
You ready to pick some tomatoes?
I'm the mechanic in the family, so I call myself the black thumb.
Absolutely. All right. So apparently his grandfather was in the restaurant business and lent some people some money. And when they asked what he wanted for his interest, he goes, oh, I'll just take one of those old Studebakers.
When my dad passed away, he left me this farm, and then we were wondering what to do with the farm.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a farmer. So we Googled farming and found Harvest Host and did a couple trips and ended up doing a whole year, 35,000 miles.
So you figured you'd travel around and figure out all about farming by going to all the farms?
Yeah, because there was nobody doing mushroom you-pick farms. So we got into that because it was kind of unique. Most of the farm is forest. The house was built in 1888, and my dad never lived here. Like I said, it was full of goats when I first inherited it. My dad had 100 goats. We tell everybody we changed the nails in the house. I took it apart completely and put it back together and put wiring and plumbing. So we're tough. It took us 2 years to renovate the house, take it apart. We lived in a tent under that big oak tree over there.
No shit.
Outside. Yeah, I had a soft service now. I could plug in the electric blanket to keep us warm at night.
For how long were you in the tent?
2 years.
Holy shit. How big was the tent?
10 by 10.
There's nothing quite like settling in for the night with the sweet smells of sizzling fresh mushrooms, onions, and the slightest whiff of propane. Good morning. Anyone else feeling lucky to be alive?
Yeah, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but we went to go check the propane, and when I started to unscrew the hatch, a whole bunch of steam seemed to be flowing out, or at least visible gas. This whole regulator over here was completely frozen and was rapidly melting. I don't know what that is. And then this shouldn't look like that. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we can try to drain the tank. So we're gonna try to do that now.
And then me marvels of intellectual prowess, discovered the reason for the ramshackle regulator.
We found out what was wrong with the propane tank and with the heater. Apparently, the tank that came with the RV was a specialized $300 propane tank that could be run on its side. I did not know this, so I turned it in 3 tanks ago in order to, you know, get a new $20 propane tank that does not run on its side. So I'm glad we didn't blow up the camper.
Oh my God.
And that we're not dead.
Mm-hmm.
And to top it off, they found out that they came in contact with the bloody virus in Virginia. So off we went to get tested and isolated. 269 miles away, outside Maya's cousin's
Had
house.
to leave the Carolinas, not so fun. Isolation from the virus has begun.
Here's to quarantining in a driveway. Again.
Say hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Today, we're gonna replace a water pump. It's running great until we took it into the freezing cold. And I think maybe something went awry. But I'm not mad at the pump because this one, I don't know if you can read that, but it was made on December 22nd, 1980. It was made 40 years ago. So that pump did its job. I'm very proud of it. We should give it a proper burial, wrap a Good Sam flag around it, bury it in the ground. So I have no idea what I'm doing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to be part of Mad Max.
Woo!
Well, we
Why
finally
are you
heard.
filming me when I'm eating?
All I
Take
was
my
doing-
chewing face away from the frame.
But we are negative for COVID,
We are.
so we are free from quarantining in our camper. We get to go back out into the world today.
Yay!
Well, it'll be nice to get out of the camper.
It will. Very nice.
But it would also be nice to eat something other than
Cheese and crackers?
pretzels.
Pretzels?
Cheese and pretzels.
Whatever.
But do they use their newfound freedom to bask in the sunshine of Miami? Wiggle their toes in the sands of Palm Beach? Go to the Florida Keys and have a cocktail with a little umbrella? No. They follow the advice of Christopher's friend Maggie and head out to visit her mother Katie. All the way back the way we bloody came. I already missed the bloody driveway.
It is cold and it is damp, but we have heat. Oops, I think the propane got beat. Have to fill it up for the long, long haul. Lucky we didn't become a fireball. Driving to the Carolinas, we're not done. Our adventure has just begun. Found another harvest of so much fun. Stopping in the middle of our northbound run.
Now this is more me speed. Looks like me humans finally found a host after me own heart. Andrew Brown, who expanded his brewery, Golden Grove. Global pandemic be damned. Enjoy. I'll be out here getting pissed.
Right down the Green River, the abandoned old prison down by Easy. We shoot with our gun and we shoot with our pistols.
What do these new tanks mean for your capacity?
So times 20. So we've gotten by. We're April will be our 5th year. And we come over here. Those pots right there. We've heard every beer that we've ever had on those pots.
Wow. How did this whole thing come about? How did you go from like, I like to brew, to, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna just take over?
So this joint, it got busted for being an underground poker house. Right? And we, where I live out now, my grandparents' house was there growing up. Well, it got burnt down. And I just had my first kid, and I was working at a brewery, not making no money. And I was like, man, we gotta get out of this rent situation. So I brought my wife out here, and we're like, this is my grandparents' whole property, and it's abandoned, but what'd you think about building a house here? And she was like, let's do it. So we started building a house. We originally started using the building because we were needing somewhere to store our stuff when we built the house. It was never intended to be a brewery. But then, we were like, let's fix this up, make ourselves more comfortable. Oh, let's bring our pool table in here. Oh, we'll set the dartboard up in here. Oh, let's bring our homebrew stuff down here. And this kind of started being our spot, like all our buddies. They're like, man, why don't we make this a brewery? Mm-hmm. And we spent a ton of money and got this really nice 57 Sony set back, wrapped all the way around the whole place.
Right.
But we didn't realize all the property before it needs to be graded because all this was downslope from it. So we spent all this money on this stone, and then red clay just washed all. So all out there under all that red clay is some really nice rock.
Well, see, it is really gorgeous. It's just got nature on top of it.
It's a lot
It's just got a little bit of nature.
It's kind of like Mars.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a lot like Mars.
It's a theme brewery, really. Yeah.
A destination.
Destiny.
We're going for destination.
How scared were you when the pandemic hit?
You know, there wasn't no time to be scared to do anything because it was just a lot of work. And because a project like this, you spend so much of the money before anything actually happens. And once you've already spent that much money, you're in it.
Yeah.
Like there ain't no stopping.
I know you were hot committed. Yeah, totally.
You're committed. And so it was a weird time to do it, but it's kind of a blessing. When we did the shutdown initially, we got some really good support. I think that's the most beautiful thing about places like this. They're a lot like a church. It just brings all these people together in the space that otherwise wouldn't be together. Yeah, it's really created this family. And it's a really, really cool thing to see grow and see all these relationships, people grow, and everybody has this feelings towards this spot because what brings everybody together. And, you know, unless you just have bukus of money, it takes a village. And that's kind of, you know, everybody pitches in, and when we need something, somebody always seems to step up. And we just keep making it happen. And we hope to continue to do that for as long as we possibly can. You know?
Just go until you fall.
Just go until
get back up and do it again.
And if you fall here, it's going to be in mud.
That's right.
Sticky, sticky mud.
Family is as family does, man.
Mr. Peabody's cold chain, already away. Rest in peace, John Pryor, man.
So today is the first morning that I'm not hungover. I'm staying in a brewery. Makes it difficult to be a real human being. Well, you're pretty okay once you're around people, but man, mornings, less than pleasant. And I gotta say, Golden Grove Brewery, that is definitely a world of hospitality and family. And that's really what it's all about, right? We've only been here 4 days. I already feel like I've made some pretty close friends. So I'll miss you, Golden Grove. And who knows? Maybe when the sun rises again somewhere else, we'll make our way back. Here's to paradise.